In this video, we're going to take a look at teaching kids some basic arm movements so that way they can get from point A to point B. Now, making sure that your students know how to kick in the water and have a good kick is very important before teaching any sort of arm strokes. But once they have a good kick, learning how to have a feel for the water with your hands is going to be almost, if not a little more important to help your students get back to safety. Here are three main ways that you can teach your students to use their arms when swimming on their front and back, so that way they can swim away from the stairs or away from the wall and then right back to it. The first most recognizable way a student will use their arms in the water is the doggy paddle. It's basically an alternating arm action where a student pulls the water to their stomach. Have them practice doggy paddling while just standing still, and then include the doggy paddle with a front float. The second most recognizable way a student will use their arms is going to be the froggy paddle, or just a simple breaststroke arm motion. Have your students extend their arms in front of them, open the water, tuck their hands into their armpits, and then reach to the front again and repeat that action. Of course, have your students practice standing up in place, froggy paddling, and then include it with a front float. The third way a student would use their arms to help them swim is on their back, and we call this winging. This is where a student just floats on their back and flaps their wings like a bird. The most important part to know about winging is to make sure that the mouth and the nose stay above the surface so the student can breathe whenever they want. Everything else should be below the water surface. And the most important part of all these basic arm movements is that the students need to use the palm of their hand to do the swimming. You're the teacher. You need to enforce that. Make them get a good feel for the water using their palms. As the kids are practicing all these basic arm movements, there's really no wrong way to do this. What you're trying to get them to do is feel the water and push against the water with their hands any way they can, so that way they can get from point A to point B. Good luck.